Hello, Alex THFC, back again, and back again to speak about the game today against Southampton. We won 4-1, but the way that we're talking, I mean, I didn't watch the preseason that much, that many games in preseason because I wasn't really that bothered about preseason because it's just an exercise of fitness. We have to say that it's just all fitness. But some of the stuff I've heard from Tottenham fans, it's like we're on the road to winning a championship because we won 4-1, and I was there. We were okay. If we really want to go into it, the one player that was superb today, we'll get into it anyway soon. But welcome to everybody on the stream. Um, really wanted to just get my thoughts out before later on. But I really wanted to just get everything out there. My thoughts are. But oh my gosh, I mean, some of the overreaction to this performance, and yeah, for a first game, it's good, but we're not absolutely fantastic. I've got to be honest. We weren't fantastic. No, Southampton were absolutely terrible, absolutely awful. It summed it up with Southampton by the own goal. The own goal. The own goal. I mean, that was one of the worst own goals I've seen in years. I mean, it's quite easy. When you're having a bad game, you've had a bad game. But that, for me, was just absolutely awful. I've got to be honest. But let's get straight into it because, I don't know how long this is going to be because I, I'm, I'm, I've got something else that I've got to do today. But I just really wanted to just get my thoughts out. And welcome to everybody on the stream. Welcome to everybody on the stream today. Well, for me, the first half, I mean, one thing I need to say is going into the stadium today, the atmosphere was something different to what I've been there before. There was an air of expectation that I think I've never really felt at Tottenham, where there's an air of expectation of something's going to happen, excitement. And I did feel like that as I walked into the stadium. But again, when I was there, I still didn't know what to expect because I didn't look too much into preseason, like I said, because it's just a fitness exercise. I think it's also for players to get used to each other as well. But I still didn't know how we were going to play, and it came into the first half for me. I just didn't like the way that we were. It was kind of each team were trying to feel each other out, and Southampton weren't again were not really that great either, to be honest with you. So it's kind of a nothing sort of thing, just end to end, people trying to fill each other out, passing around, and that's it. And then towards the later part, well, towards the 10-minute mark, I think it was, um, this is when Southampton scored on the 11 minutes mark. And for me, it summed up our play. It was very slow. It wasn't convincing. The wing backs were weak. Were weak. Not so much Sessegnon. I think Sessegnon, for me, it's more about confidence for me with Sessegnon. It was Emerson. Emerson was the one that, and people told me that he had a very good performance. I think the problem with Emerson was he's just not a good wing back whatsoever. I am surprised that Emerson's still here. I'm very surprised he is still here because for me, he's not very good running towards the opposition goal. He doesn't take on his man. He's running down, and I think it sums it all up with Emerson because Kane and Son didn't have a good game. Did not have a good game whatsoever. I'll go on to who had a very good game later on, but they didn't have a good game. And towards the end of it, when you see Perisic playing, it's like night and day compared to what you're seeing with um, Emerson. Emerson, for me, he just doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, Kulicheski. We can get into Kulicheski later on, but Kulicheski, for me, made him look good. made him look good. It was ridiculous. Like the amount of times he was getting him out of space, getting him out of trouble. It was absolutely. It was getting ridiculous. It was literally getting ridiculous. And I was sitting there saying it's after we gone 1-0 down. I was sitting there saying, well, he's got to change the wing backs. He has to change the wing backs. And I think it affects the whole team. We're saying that we need a creative midfielder. I don't think we're going to get a creative midfielder in that team. Now, we got back into the game, and it was very well done because of Kulusevski. Let's be honest here. Kulusevski, that was the reason. That was the reason why we got through. You know what I mean? So, for me, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by Emerson whatsoever. I don't think he's going to be here because if you're telling me that we are going for top 4 and a major trophy, because we want a major trophy now with Harry Kane and Son, you can't have Emerson as your wing back. No way, Jose. I'm sorry, he's bang average. Yeah. He created a chance for Kulusevski, which is the most easiest pass that anybody can make. Kulusevski made it simple for him. That's how bad he was. And he looked bad. It will show you how bad he is when you play a decent team, because Southampton they literally gave it away to us. Literally just gave it away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't keep my call on it, and that's it. As for the team, I've got to say we did very well to get back into the game, but I think that shows how Southampton was so bad, really bad. Kulusevski, for me, was head and shoulders. Now, I still think I need to see him without Kane and Son. I need to see him without Kane and Son before I start saying, okay, this is the man. This is the man. I will be happy to have him as the man. But for me, he was head and shoulders ahead of everyone. Head and shoulders ahead of everyone. Kulusevski. Like he was the man getting starting attacks. He was the one looking for the spaces. He was the one making the runs. He was the one making that first goal for Sessegnon. And Sessegnon, he put on a platter for Sessegnon to just header it in like that. He was absolutely fantastic. I mean that, and when Son and Kane weren't very good, he stepped up. He was the one that was stepping up, and that was it. Another player that I think didn't really look good as well, and I think for me, I do back this player. I do back this player a lot. Davis. I think it summed it up with the fact that there was times when that left-hand side, wasn't doing enough to get to stop or to threaten the Southampton wings, and that was it for me. And that's what I didn't like. I just didn't like it at all. But we did get back into the game, and I think that was a credit. There was some credit in there. I have to say it, and that's it. But for me, I wasn't convinced. I was not convinced at all. Now, you have to bear with me, guys, because it's all spits and spurts and comes into my head what happened and stuff, and I'm trying to remember what I saw and stuff. The Dyer goal, I mean, again, I think for me, I'm not satisfied with him. He has his positives with the goal that he scored. I think the goal that he scored was very, very, was very good in terms of his header. Fantastic setup by Song. Good cross. Again, Song, it was interesting with Son and Kane. They were looking for each other, but weren't really looking for Kulusevski. I think that will have to change over the season. I think that has to change, and there needs to be more connection and stuff for me, anyway. But the goal from Dyer was very well constructed, especially from Son. Son assisted from the cross, crosses it in, and Dyer just run into the box, and then boom, headers it in, and it's a good goal. Wasn't impressed with him. Wasn't impressed with him at all. I've got to be honest. He wasn't. He wasn't one of those. He wasn't. Southampton, for how bad they were as a team, um, and the way that they attacked, they were very lightweight in attack. Um, Now, I mean, a lot of people rate Ward-Prowse. I think he's one-dimensional for me. I think he's very one-dimensional. I think Maddison shows how a creative midfielder plays and does really well, and that's it, really. So I have to say this. Um, Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody in the chat. I'm just gonna just some housekeeping before I go. Any interesting comments, any questions, I'll show up and I'll answer your questions or anything. Just looking at some questions here. How are you? Big up to THC till I die. Alex, are you not convinced in Conte we trust? Well, it's not the fact that I'm not convinced. It's just it is the first game, so we can't. I'm not going to go over the top. Um, not always the first game is going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect at all. No, I'm not. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be perfect at all. No, but for me, there's still things there, but I can't ignore. I can't ignore. Now, our signings haven't played yet. Most of them weren't in the team today, so it was mainly the team that were from last season. So we have to wait and see whether they are going to be good or not. But for me, I just wasn't. I can't ignore the deficiencies against a team that were really not very good at all. This team, Southampton, look relegation candidates. That's how bad they looked, and I'd be more worried about them being relegation candidates than us being worried about getting top four. But we'll get into that later on. What my expectations are, but I think everybody knows my expectations anyway. But yeah, it's just really for me. I mean, like I said, I don't agree about Emerson. I'm sorry, Emerson is just bang average. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced at all about the guy. Sorry, and just well, I am satisfied, Chris. It's just that you just can't take it because Mr. Box Office is going to talk the truth, and that's it. So sorry, Chris, but I don't know what nonsense you're talking about. Big up to you. Big up to you, Brian. Big up to you, Brian. And yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry, but yeah, Kulichevsky was very good. But again, I need to be more convinced when Kulichevsky's not playing with Harry Kane and Son. When Harry Kane and Son are not playing, then we'll see how good he is as well. But he was a man of the match today. If he wasn't playing, we wouldn't win the game. Simple as that. Simple. Simple as that. And I mean, smash up the lights if you think I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, smash up the lights. But for me, I think at the moment, for me, he was head and shoulders the best player. Yes, definitely. Alex, what more would you want to be convinced we are on a good trajectory? I've said already that and I said it on Sean's show, that my expectation, I'm not going to make any judgment until after the World Cup. After later on, second part of the season, later on into the season, then we can see whether we are a decent team or not. Because then you can see whether we can cope with injuries, cope with 2 games a week. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna make a judgment right now. No, it's too early. Way too early. Way too early. So yeah, thank you. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody that's watching. Thank you very much for all being here. Big up to you all. Right. So yeah, going into the game today, I'm sorry, but I've just got to be honest. I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced again. And there was just lots of misplaced passes as well. And it was really towards the first half, at the end of the first half. It was just really we're just really languishing into the second half, into the halftime break, and really for me, after that second goal, it was just really for a chance us to just throw it all at them. You know, because for me, that was Southampton finished after 2-1. That was it. They were done. They were finished. And I think it summed it all up after the halftime break when we scored and it was offside. It was a good goal from Sessegnon. He got into good position, really good position. Southampton just didn't come out from halftime at all. Did not come out for halftime whatsoever. But it was offside, unfortunately. But I think that just summed it all up. If you were a decent team, anything about you, you would have beaten that team back 6-0, 7-0. That you could have slaughtered them because they're just not at it at all. I've heard somebody saying that we're championship. That was a championship defense. I would agree with you. That was average championship team completely 110%. Sorry, I can't lie to you. I don't think it was that good at all, really. But yeah, that was it for me. I've got to be honest. And then that was when they brought on the new faces. 51 minutes. Perisic, Basuma, I think Lucas Moura as well got on as well. Now, I think Lucas Moura being now a wing back sums up the fact that he's looked as being a wing back now is why we're not so convinced with like players like Emerson. And I'm even now saying about Doherty as well, but I think he's struggling because of his knee. So we have to see what happens. But for me, I think that slowed the game a little bit. I think that didn't really help us a little bit. But yeah, I mean the own goal, I mean, that was awful. That was absolutely awful. I've never seen such a bad own goal I've ever seen in my life. I think that summed up how bad Southampton were. Southampton were just absolutely awful, and that summed it up with Salusa. And I mean, it's that bad. I have to say this. That bad. Okay, that they didn't show another replay of it because it was that embarrassing. Honestly, I've never seen such an embarrassment in my life. Emerson with the ball, and he just passes it. It wasn't even convincing. That was the thing. It wasn't even convincing. It wasn't even convincing shot. It wasn't even near it, and it's just like Saluso just gets his legs tangled up when he's doing it, and it's just like goes in the back of the net, and I'm like, whoa, how bad is this? And oh gosh, it just honestly, Southampton, you fans should be worried. Should be worried after seeing this performance. Honestly, I don't know what else to say really. But yeah, big up to everybody's in the chat and who's watching. 14 people are watching. Thank you very much. Even though, oh gosh, I know people don't like my truths, and that's it. But I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? It's story time, Mr. Box Office, and then like when I'm Mr. Box Office, story time, Mr. Box Office. Mr. Box Office has to talk the truth, and that's it. People are telling me that Dyer is a good player. How many times did Southampton get through us, guys? How many times? Tell me. Can someone tell me? They came through so many times. And that was against Southampton, who had nothing. A weak midfield, a weak striker. They just got somebody from Rangers, who I thought had a bit of a presence, but didn't really do nothing, to be honest with you. Their defence is so lightweight. Like, Kane and Son could have a day off. Literally could have a day off. Kane doing this is complimentary again, coming deep because no one's passing to him, so he's not in the game. He's anonymous, literally anonymous in the game. And who's stepping up? Oh yes, it's Kulusevski, the guy that I called a reject. But anyway, at the end of the day, he was the man of the match, 100% standout player. I've got to say that. Have to say this. Also, I have to say this as well. I need to see Skip back because I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Hoiberg, and I'm not a fan of his. I'm sorry, like he needs to do more. I'm sorry, like he just does a job. He does a job, and that's it. And like against better teams, we would struggle. Like I'm worried about Champions League. Like uh, if we get a difficult group, I would be worried about Champions League after this performance. We need to be better. One thing also I need to say as well, Perisic. If you want to know what a wing back's all about, watch Perisic. In 2 minutes, I saw what a wing back's all about that I didn't see from Emerson the whole season. You see, like Perisic acted like a wing back, getting past his man, trying to take on his man, doing what the things that you should be doing as a wing back. I think it all summed it all up when Perisic was on the ball. You see Kane and Song. Kane and Song's jumping up and down and starting to run, starting to move. First half, you weren't seeing that from Song and Kane. You weren't seeing that from Son and Kane at all. They weren't moving at all. Because but Emerson, when he's running, you know where the ball's, it ain't going to you. It ain't going to you when Emerson's not running. The only time that Kane and Son are starting moving when one of them's got the ball because they're gonna run, they're gonna make their runs. Or Chelsea's got the ball because he knows that they're gonna get the ball, get a cross in or get a through ball in or something of quality. But you're not gonna get that from Sessegnon, who's not that confident at the moment, and Emerson. The wing backs is the problem, and this needs to be addressed urgently, if we're going to do anything this season. Because you can't rely on Kane and Son, and Kulusevski could have a worldie this season. The same team that does that, the same thing that we do, is Liverpool. And right now, you don't know whether they're going to be good this season because they've lost their best striker in Mane. Don't really need to say anymore, don't I, really? Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody in the chat. 17 people, 16 people are watching. Wow. Just please like the video. Please smash up the likes. Yeah, if you agree with me, smash up the likes. And thank you very much for all you watching. This is only a short stream. It's not going to be a long one because people need to go out and enjoy themselves, like they say. Or enjoy the night anyway. Enjoy the evening. Big up to everybody though. Big up to everybody. Big up to yourself. Big up to THC till I die. Spurs will win something this season. We are going to do something special. I think we will win something this season. We have to win something this season. We have to. That is no doubt now. Unfortunately, this is the talking's got to stop, and we need to start walking and proving ourselves. So I agree with you there. We will win something, but we have to win something. Simple as that. There's no hiding this season, and that's it. Simple. Big up to everybody. Go to bed, mate. You absolutely hate it when we play well. Well, Jimmy, not really, mate. It's just that I just talk the truth, and unfortunately, Mr. Box Office makes statements, and if you can't take those statements, that's it. Sorry, mate. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love those sort of comments. I eat those up all day long. I love it. I absolutely love those sort of comments because I sit there and say, "What are you trying to do to me, brother? I'll just banter you all day long, bro. But you're not gonna come on, bro, because you're talking absolute rubbish. I ain't gonna go to bed. I'm still talking, brother. What are you gonna do? Alex, what do we need then? We need better wing backs. We need better wing backs. That's what we need. We need what Pericic's got, and that's it. But at the end of the day, it's our first game. It is our first game, so we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Arsenal won yesterday. They're going on like they won the championship. You know what I mean? What do we need to say on that? I mean, honestly, a bang average team with a bang average manager. And if you don't want to say, if you know you know I don't know what I'm talking about, watch the documentary and then you know what we're talking about. But anyway, moving on. We're not going to talk about Arsenal because you know my thoughts on them and their manager. Alex, good point. It's very far from convincing. Good 3 points, but not a great game from us. More down, Southampton, terrible. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely 100%. Absolutely 100%. Southampton were absolutely awful. I think it summed up how bad Southampton were compared to us, and that was it. Um, yeah, that's it. Sorry, I have to say it, and that's it. Bentacore, okay. I'm not convinced by that midfield. I have to be honest. I'm not convinced by that midfield at all. With Højbjerg and Bentacore, I think they do a good job. I think Bentacore's got more quality than Højbjerg. Højbjerg, I mean. Højbjerg, he does a good job. When he gets going, he does try and get into good positions. But I'm just not convinced still with him. I think there was times that he did struggle, Bentacore and Højbjerg. But I don't think they actually dominate a game. I don't think they actually not convincing for me. I think it'd be interesting to see who will be end up being the number one centre midfield pairing. I've got to be honest, but I'm not convinced by that pairing at all. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, very interesting. I've got to be honest, but it's a good one, George. I've got to be honest. Salisu couldn't handle Emerson's shot of power. No, I'm sorry. No, he got lucky with that one. I've got to be honest. Got to be lucky. That Saints goalkeeper couldn't catch butterflies. Well, to be honest with you, Saints were just absolutely awful. I've got to be honest. It was terrible cross to nobody from Emerson. Well, I've said my piece about Emerson. Scott, I agree with you there. And that's all I need to say. Last season, we scored 5 opening game of the new season. We scored 4. Yeah, it was a good performance. It was all right. It was all right, yeah. But it wasn't the best. Southampton were awful. Absolutely awful. If Southampton had more about them, they would have absolutely dominated us because the wing backs were weak. They were still getting through us. There's people said that Romero had a good game. I think he was okay. I don't think it was outstanding. No, I don't think it was outstanding like Kulusevski. No, I think we saw the weakness in Davis today. Why Davis? But he's just come back from injury. I've got to say that. But there's times when Davis doesn't take his initiative, and I think that didn't help Sessegnon today. I think that side was very weak, but because of Emerson's that side, the right hand side, I think the right hand side was good because of Kulusevski. So I think it just shows our weakness on the wing back side. And I think that's the thing. If you talk about, because I think when you see that Son and Kane are not having a very good time and not a very anonymous in the game, you need other players playing, stepping up. And I think the only player that stepped up today was Kulusevski. He was spinning, getting into positions, and he was making things happen. And I think that for me was the best thing out of the whole game to me. I think he's more proving now that he's becoming that player. Now I need to see more from him because until he doesn't Kane and Son don't play, we need to see him see how he plays then. But I think it's a long-term thing with me. But he is turning out to be a very, very good signing, a really good signing. I don't think he's even signed permanently for us, which is a bit worrying because if he hasn't signed permanently for us, I think you want to sign him up right now because, to be honest with you, I think he's proved enough for us anyway. And that's it. But going on to the game, I will finish on the comments later on. Thank you for all your comments, by the way. It really is appreciated. It's an impromptu stream, to be honest with you, like Mr. Botsifis does, impromptu stream. But I had a lot to say today, a lot to say. And I just thought that it'd be silly of me not to say anything. I will be coming to a close soon. But I have to say this. Oh, this is a good comment, actually. A team going through us, that's midfield's job, but we have quality coming in But the players like Basuma and Skip, well, hopefully Skip can recover. Hopefully Skip can recover because I think he's a very good player. I think he's been very unlucky with injuries. The latest injury he was very unlucky with. Very unlucky with, I have to say that. And yeah, hopefully he does recover well, and that's it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Skip. I've got to be honest. Um, yeah, I have to be honest. I think we have to look forward to seeing what happens with Skip, definitely. But yeah, big up to your comment, Alexander. Yeah, definitely. Is Brighton still a better footballing side than us then? Well, I can't come to any conclusion about that because we haven't seen Brighton yet, haven't we? You know, there's nothing really to say. It's only the first game of the season. So I can't come to any conclusion, no. So yeah, nothing really else to say on that. But let's move on to the game. Because yeah, but just the final goal I need to speak about. I have to speak about this. Now, for me, I think this summed up the overall game of Kulusevski. Kulusevski made that goal for us. He's the one that made that goal for us. Now, it was assist from Emerson, but I need to stress right now. I need to stress it right now. That was because of Kulusevski, not because of Emerson. When I saw that pass from Emerson, and I could make that pass. You get into that position, Southampton gave him the world of space to make a simple pass, and because of Kulusevski gets into that position, he gets into the position, the right position in the box on the right hand on that right hand side, the corner of the box. That's what made the goal because it was such a simple pass. If it was a cross and it was a diagonal cross or something like that to find the player, yeah, fair enough. But it was not great play from. It wasn't that special from Emerson. If you're saying to me that Emerson did well because it was doing well, he did his job, okay, but that is not good enough for Tottenham. That is not good enough for a Champions League team that are supposedly going for Champions League, going for third, going for honours this season. So for me, it's all Kulusevski for me. All Kulusevski. You know, and I think there needs to be a far improvement from the wing backs this season. But Kulusevski for me has done very well, and let's hope he can continue with this. And that's it. I think the game went to a lull after that. After he came off, because yeah, that was it. And Southampton still were getting through us, and that was it. And yeah, it was a good first victory for Tottenham for their first game. But I'm still not convinced by this performance. Good victory, but we still got a long way to go. And I'm, you know, I think after that performance, it's exciting to see Tottenham doing well and getting back and not panicking. Yes, I think we can be positive about that. The fact that Kulusevski was playing well and we didn't have to need Song and Kane, that's a positive. Yeah, I'll take that on board. Yeah. But if you play a decent team, I would be concerned. And that's it. Big up to everybody that's watching me, by the way. 13 people, 14 people watching. Big up to all yourselves. Please like the stream. If you don't like what I'm saying, like the stream. If you do agree with me, like the stream. Like, smash up the lights. We are coming to a close soon because we finished our analysis of the game. Any questions, please shout out, and that's it. I'm going for the comments now. Where and when did Hampton cut us open? Southampton cut us open. They did cut us open a few times. Towards the end, they did. They should have taken their chances. Now there were half chances, yes, but we should have stopped them. We should have like nullified them completely because they had nothing in their team. Literally nothing in the team. To be honest with you, there was a few times in the second half they did get through. A few times. I can't remember the striker, but I think there was a few times that Southampton did get through, and that was it. So, but yeah, I wasn't I think Southampton were really not very good at all. But I think that's why we won the game, and that's it. Whatever it was poor, and the own goal was even worse. Yeah, it was absolutely awful. It was absolutely awful. He makes other defenders look. Defender look. Emerson is such a bad defender that he makes the other defenders defender bad. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you. And I think because of our foreign play, how many foreign players we got in our squad, because of the limit we have to have, I think it's time that we have to let him go. I think unfortunately that's the case. We are coming to a close soon, guys. Because yeah, it's time to enjoy the night, enjoy the evening, because we have won, and the night's still young, like they say. Alex, do you think we can win the league? Ugh, no, no, and for me that's terrible. Because there is so much doubt about next season. Because we all know what Conte's like. He does really well the first season, runs them into the ground. Will he get the same effort next season? There's a question mark on that, but we have to see, don't we? We have to see, don't we? Really, I have to say that. Why do the football terrorists support Arsenal in every way? No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Um, I think they're just honest, and that's it. And that's it. Simple as that. I mean, I come from an honest standpoint. There's a lot of people that come from an honest standpoint as well, because we can't ignore what we've seen. This club has not won a Premier League in its recent history. This club hasn't won a major trophy, and when I mean a major trophy, like a FA Cup, a Europa League, Champions League, Premier League, and we've got Harry Kane and Son. That's ridiculous. That's a disaster for me. You should be winning championships with these players. 100%. When I hear fans saying to me, I'll just take one trophy, I'll just take a Carabao Cup, that just shows you what our mentality is like. I can't see Son and Kane carrying on playing the way they're playing until they're like after 30. I can't see it. They've been going for quite a while now. There's only so much they can do, and that's it. And that's it. Simple. So I need to see more, and that's it. I'm sorry, I can't. I think this season's very important. We need to start showing it now. We need a trophy now. If that's a Carabao Cup, fair enough. It's a tick box. FA Cup's more prestigious for me because I've seen Tottenham win Carabao Cups. I don't believe in this whole thing about winning a Carabao Cup and it leads you to winning more. I don't see it. I need to be proven wrong, and that's it. Simple. That's it. I'm sorry. I have to say it, and that's it. Fan base that support Arsenal. I don't agree with that. I think some people are, but I don't know. I don't know. It's all about views and subs. I don't know about that. We'll see what happens. Is bang average your favourite phase? Maybe, but we're not great still. We need better wing backs. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, well, he was the best today. He was absolutely the best today. I've got to be honest. He was absolutely brilliant. I've got to be honest. I think we need. I think we need I think we need a better wing backs more than a creative midfielder. Because where does he fit in? That's the point. I need to say that. Where do we need to fit in? That's it. Sorry, I have to say that. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not convinced at all, really. So yeah, but yeah, guys, it was only going to be a short stream, a very short stream. I have to say that. Oh yeah, Perisic was absolutely fantastic. Perisic was absolutely fantastic. He done well. I've already said it at the beginning. If people just come in, I'm sorry, but yeah, Perisic was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I have to say that, and that's it. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody that's watching. After more than 17 people watching today, it's mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. And thank you for everybody that's watching today. Please subscribe if you want to subscribe. But yeah, an impromptu stream by Mr. Box Office. You had story time with Mr. Box Office telling you some statements and truths, and that's it. Yeah, it was a bit all over the place a little bit today, but you know what? It's a Saturday night. It's Jamaican Independence Day today. You know what? It is what it is. But hopefully soon I'll come back to you soon and you'll see me again, Mr. Box Office again, telling you some truths and telling you some statements, and he's out of here. Good night. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.